A misty canal only the sound of paddles. Hundreds of rotting dolls stare from trees, missing eyes, twisted limbs. A man whispers, "I hear them at night." The dolls talking. Text on screen. Mexico's real-life island of dolls. A place so haunted, even locals stay away. A woman rows past the island, not looking. Don't stop. Don't speak. Just pass. A child's doll suddenly turns its head toward the camera. Whispered voice, they watch, they remember, and they want to be loved. Narrator. But the truth of this island is darker than just toys on trees. It began with a drowning and became something cursed. Mist drifts slow across the still waters of the canals in Xochimilco, Mexico. A paddle dips into the water. Then, silence. A narrow wooden boat approaches an overgrown island. Hundreds of dolls hang from the trees, weathered, cracked, many with one eye missing. Their faces are stained by rain. Mold crawls up plastic cheeks. A low wind blows. It sounds like whispering. A local woman steering the boat refuses to look toward the island. She says, "No one stops here. Not anymore." A voice narrates. They call it La Isla de las Muñecas, the island of dolls. A place haunted, not by ghosts, but by something older, something watching. A broken doll dangles from a rope, spinning slowly. The story begins decades ago with one man. His name was Don Santana Barrera. He came to the island to escape the noise of the world, but the island wouldn't let him be alone. One afternoon, Don claimed to see a young girl drown in a canal. No one else saw her. Nobody was found. But Don said he heard her cry again and again, even after night fell. The next morning, he found a doll floating in the water, tangled in lilies. He believed it belonged to the dead girl. He hung it in a tree as a sign of respect, a way to keep her spirit calm. But the cries didn't stop. More dolls began appearing, some in the water, some tangled in vines, some nailed to the trees by no one. He collected them, everyone he found. Everyone he believed was sent to him by the spirit of the girl. Soon, the trees were filled with them. Dozens, then hundreds. Mutilated eyelids, torn, water-damaged dolls. Don said the girl's spirit wasn't alone, that others had joined her. He said he saw small footprints in the mud, heard giggling in the trees. People thought he was mad, but those who visited began to report strange things. Voices at night, dolls that blinked, whispers from the canal. A man who slept near the island said he woke to find a doll at the foot of his bed, still dripping wet. Another tourist said a doll turned to look at him when he passed. But no one believed these stories until Don died. The way he died terrified everyone. He was found in the canal, the exact same spot where he claimed the girl had drowned, face down, lifeless. His last words to his nephew had been, "She wants me now. She's been waiting." Some say he was pulled in by invisible hands. Others say he walked in willingly to be with her. After his death, the island was discovered by outsiders. What they found was chilling. Over 1,000 dolls in trees, in the mud, hanging from wires. Most were missing limbs. Some had nails through their faces. Many looked burned. Visitors brought their own dolls as offering, hoping to please the spirits to stay safe. But the island changed. People began to feel sick, dizzy. Some fainted as they stepped onto the shore. One woman screamed, saying she saw her own reflection blink at her from a doll's face. A man filming a documentary saw his footage glitch only when he panned to a certain tree. In the video, a doll moves its head, just slightly, then stares directly into the lens. The footage was never released. The director quit filmmaking. Children hear things on the island. Songs sung in broken Spanish. Laughter from the bushes. Some say the dolls are empty. Others say they are vessels holding trapped souls. Locals stopped visiting. Even the bravest boatmen refused to dock there at night. A tour guide whispered, "I took one girl there for a day." She laughed. said she didn't believe. The next morning, she was missing. Her shoes were on the dock. When the police searched the island, they found a new doll. One they didn't recognize. It looked exactly like the missing girl. Some believe the island doesn't just house spirits, they believe it takes people. One visitor returned after 5 years, but his friends said he was different. Quiet, always staring, like a doll himself. Another man returned to leave a doll in memory of his sister. He swears the next day, her voice came through his phone, calling his name. The dolls aren't just decoration. They're sentries, watchers, perhaps prisoners themselves. Some believe Doan opened a door, and now it won't close. The island's soil is wrong. Soft in some places, hard in others. Bones have been found beneath the roots. No one knows how many bodies lie there. No one asks. A priest once tried to bless the island. His boat capsized on approach. He never returned. Since then, the island remains untouched. No maintenance, no caretakers. Yet the dolls remain upright, untouched by storms, unmoving in strong wind. Some say they don't decay because they're not just dolls anymore. There's something else. Even satellite images show strange shadows on the island, shapes that move between shots. The government refuses to list it as a tourist location, but thrill seekers still find their way. Some return, some don't. And every year there are more dolls, more eyes watching, more whispers in the trees, and always the sound of something just beneath the water. Wait. A viral TikTok challenge dared users to visit the island of dolls. One girl accepted. She smiled, danced on the dock, filmed for just a minute. But when she returned, she stopped speaking. Her parents said her eyes looked dead. Doctors couldn't explain it. No trauma, no injury, just silence. Psychologists call it dissociative shock. Locals call it possession. Another influencer went at night live streaming with friends. Their laughter faded after a few minutes. The footage shows their flashlights flickering. The stream ends with the sound of footsteps in the water. No one has seen the girl since. Her friends won't speak. The police only say, "Don't go." But people still do. A former Marine tough, Rational, visited to debunk the myths. He recorded himself laughing, mocking the doll. Then he goes still. His breath catches. He stares at something off. A whisper, his own voice, but no one is near him. He drops the camera, screams. When they found him hours later, he had claw marks across his back. But he was alone. He never posted again. People say that dolls, remember? That each disrespect adds a soul. That the island doesn't haunt, it traps. A woman named Lucia visited to heal. She left an offering, a handmade doll for her dead daughter. She said she felt peace at first, then cold. When she returned home, she heard crying under her floorboards. She thought she was going mad until the crying started saying her name. She burned every doll in her home, but it didn't stop. Another man brought his dog with him. The dog refused to enter, barked into the trees, then whimpered. That night, it jumped through a window, ran off. He never saw it again. Tour guides now offer tours only in daylight, and even then, most won't step onto the island. A guide confessed, "One day, I looked up and one of the dolls had moved. Not fallen, moved. His hand was pointed. When he turned, his tourist was gone. Only her phone was found, still recording. The video showed her turning in circles, crying, then screaming, then silent, then a doll face filling the screen. People who watch that video report strange things. Cold fingers on their neck, voices saying, 'Come play.' One viewer said their lights flickered for hours. Another said their house smelled like wet. Even online, the island reaches. Researchers who tried to study the island report nightmare. One man documented every known doll on the island. He began seeing them in his dream. Then he saw one sitting on his porch, No one else saw it, but he swears it blinked. Another man tried to steal a doll as a souvenir. He died in a car crash the same day. Locals say the dolls choose who can leave. One priest tried to exorcise the island from afar. He reported being visited by a girl in his dreams. Always so, always silent. He had a heart attack days later. Even locals passing by in boats don't look toward the island. They say it's disrespectful. It notices. Some say the island is cursed. Others say it is sacred, a tomb of spirits who demand offerings. Tourists now bring dolls from all over the world. Japanese dolls, American, Russian, old, new, damaged. They hang them on trees. Some say it keeps the spirits calm. Others say it's like feeding a monster. The more dolls, the more power. A French journalist once tried to spend the night. She documented whispers, dolls turning, a child laughing. Then the footage cut to black. She returned pale, shaking, never published the piece. She later told a colleague, "I felt something enter me. I'm not alone anymore." A psychic said the islands is a spiritual sponge. It absorbs pain, sorrow, fear, and it wrings it out on those who come near. Some believe the dolls aren't haunted. They are prisoned. Each one holds something evil. That's why they look broken. Each one trying to escape. The legend of the drowned girl is just the beginning. Some believe she was bait. The first, others followed. Some claim Doan didn't imagine the girl, that she was real, and cursed that he was chosen. Not by accident, but because he listened, that the dolls told him what to do. One story says he was building a shrine, not for peace, but for power. He believed the dolls were protectors, but they were parasites. They fed on his mind. He began speaking in voices not his own. He began carving faces into trees, into the walls of his hut, faces that matched the dolls. When he died, the air on the island changed. Locals say birds stopped flying overhead. The water grew still, heavier. Some believe Doan is still there, not as a ghost, but as part of the island, part of the whispering. There are stories of people hearing a man singing among the dolls, a soft lullaby. No one knows the tune. Some tourists come back obsessed. They collect dolls, line their homes with them, refuse to explain why. One woman was interviewed after her third visit. She said, "They speak to me now, the dolls. I understand them." Her eyes were unfocused. Her house was filled with dolls, all with their heads turned toward the same corner. Some corners hold more than shadow, and the island of dolls holds more than sorrow. It holds secrets. It holds pieces of everyone who steps there, and it never gives them back. It is not haunted. It is hungry.